I've come to read you a Wednesday night story in the form of more Umineko. Mind your ears there, clicking that, doing the thing. Perfect. Where's the game? Well, where are you hiding? Where are you hiding? Don't you hide from me. Don't you forget about me. Don't. So yeah. Wednesday night stream, welcome to the stream. I already said all that, but I'll say it again. You know, I bring not much, but just a little bit more energy on the Wednesday night streams, because then I don't come back for a couple days. I don't come back usually until the Friday. So I gotta get it all out, you know? Trying to think if there's anything else I need to say. For some reason I thought like I had more to say, but I don't think I do. Let's just hit start. What happened last? What happened last when we read this on last Saturday? Was last Saturday the... I should actually probably check, shouldn't I? Was last Saturday the chunk that I read where then the audio thing happened? I can check this real quick. Yes. So yeah, the last chunk we had read was the big chunk last Saturday, which I plan to do this coming up Saturday night, probably do the same exact thing. But let's see, we had some moments with Jessica at school. We had Cannon dressing up and going to school, playing fake boyfriend. We had Jessica singing in like a band type situation it's like a festival. Like almost like a talent show, I assume. There's a lot of like in Japanese games that I play. I'm thinking of like Persona games and things of that nature. I'm sure it's more common in like anime and stuff as well, but just the concept of like the school putting on a festival. Kind of like almost the equivalent probably of like in the States, like, although I definitely was never a part of something like this, but I always saw it in media where it was like like a class putting on like the dance, the school dance or whatever for whatever grade. Like they picked the theme and stuff and maybe fundraised for it. I don't know, but it reminds me of that. But I'm just familiar with like in Japanese stories where it's like, oh, school festival, and different clubs are tasked with doing different things, putting on little things, such of that nature. I even remember like old school like Shonen Jump, Yu-Gi-Oh manga. Like I think there's a reference to them doing like carnival games or something. I don't know. My memory sucks. Let's just get into it. I'm explaining. Oh, look, we ended on a transition. That's good, dude. Here's where you love. This is where I love past me. I'm like, me from several days ago, saved at like what seems to be an opportune time. Good job, past me. You did a good job. Pat yourself on the back. Alright, I gotta turn up maybe. As the audio goes, as we go on, I'll adjust audio needed. So yeah, we'll just read Umineko for probably a couple hours here. I kind of like the pacing. I think when I started out reading this, I was like, oh, this most likely will be like once a week kind of stream, like just doing one big stream. I kind of now like the pace that I have going of like one time in the middle of the week, usually. Doing like 1 to 2 hours and then setting ourselves up to do like a big stream on the weekend of it. Although I would say don't be surprised if like sometime in the future there may be like a week where I'm like, you know what? I just want to do like an Umineko week. And I'm just going to read a shit ton of it in like a week. So get ready for those streams. You know, that's sometimes bound to happen. We've got Shannon here. So she says, what? What? Do you mean by that, George-san?
言葉通りの意味だよ。
I mean what I said.
僕はまだ自分の城を築き上げてない。
I still haven't built up my castle.
それができて初めて僕は一人前になれたと思えるんだ。
Once I manage to do that, I'll finally be able to think of myself as an adult.
その時君と結婚したい。
When that happens, I want to marry you. That...
それはその...
That's,
でもそれじゃあ
But...
もう僕の心が許せないんだ。
my heart won't let me do that anymore.
だから君に婚約指輪を贈りたい。
So I want to give you an engagement ring.
婚約...
I'm gonna adjust auto a bit more. Okay, engagement?
ですか。
You say...
でもその...
But,
私...
I... am...
家具ですし。
furniture.
そうだったね。
Oh, right. That.
じゃあ家具は人の言うことを聞かないとね。
Well then, furniture... Furniture has to listen to what people say, right?
今君に贈るのにふさわしい指輪を作らせてる。
Right now, I'm having a ring made that'll be fitting for you.
多分今度の親族会議の日には持っていけると思う。
I think it'll be ready in time for me to bring it to the upcoming family conference.
その時に送るからどうか君の返事を聞かせてほしいんだ。
I'll give it to you then, so please, I want you to let me hear your answer.
君が僕の婚約を受けてくれたら
If you accept,
僕はその席でおじい様を含めた全ての親族の前で君との婚約を宣言する。
then I'll proclaim our engagement right there, in front of all the relatives, including grandfather.
ジョージさん。
George-san.
君と僕の仲をふさわしくないと咎める人たちはきっといる。
I don't say it as nicely as she does. I'm very gruff. I'm sure some people won't approve of our relationship.
でもそいつらの顔を見る必要はない。
But there's no need to look at their faces. George says, fuck them.
君はその瞳の中に僕だけを満たしていればいいから。
Because you only have to fill your eyes with me.
君を必ず幸せにする。
I will definitely bring you happiness.
それだけは絶対に約束するから。
That's the one thing I can promise you with certainty. Well?
どのように実るのか楽し
Wait,
み
what
で
the
な
hell?
らない。
Oh, we got some Gregorian chanting going on in the background. They're gonna fucking curse me through the PC screen. I just can't wait to see how it'll ripen.
憂に過ぎて腐り落ちる果実の液に黄金の蝶たちは舞い降りる。
The gold butterflies do not swoop upon the juice of overripe and rotting fruit.
今より収穫の日が待ち遠しい。
I can't.
宴の時はまだかまだか。
God, Beatrice is so extra. I cannot wait for the day of harvest to come. Oh, is the time of the banquet here yet? Oh, see, it was all there. It was just hidden. Don't worry about it. Cackle, cackle, ha 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 ha. I already did it. Man, that was the other thing that we learned. Beatrice. Oh, what a time. Wow, I did stop. Okay, so we did learn Beatrice, she was basically seemingly faking the first day, October 4th, 1986. What the hell? First day. What? There's like faking the friendship with Shannon / Sayo. And that was really upsetting. I don't think, like, I always talk about how there's those moments where, like, I stream the game. I'm obviously, I hate the word in relations to streaming, but, like, reacting to the gameplay as it's happening and everything. And so you're getting those first initial raw thoughts. But there's always so many thoughts and everything that develop after I've played the, like, after I should close the stream and everything. And man, I gotta say, the few days after the last Saturday's stream of this, there was like so many. I was so pissed. I'm like, fucking Beatrice, and Cannon calling her out, and then like, we were all sitting there being like, "Aw, isn't this adorable? Look at this girls' friendship between Beatrice and Shannon." And then it was just like, immediately Shannon's like, "Yeah, I don't give a fuck about her. I'm doing this to fuck her over. I'm evil." It's upsetting. Alright, so what is this nonsense? They had eaten breakfast at a coffee shop in the station building. By chance, the inside of the shop had been decorated, with Halloween colors since it was October. Maria had seemed to be awfully pleased with that. For quite some time, she talked loudly inside the train about wanting to have a Halloween festival, without caring that she was attracting the attention of others. Halloween is popular in Europe and America, but people aren't that familiar with it in Japan. The shopping district was color. I can't read tonight. Jeez. Just end the stream. Where's the black? Just done. Try not to make so many mistakes here. The shopping district was colorfully decorated with orange pumpkins, but the costume parades of children demanding sweets and saying trick or treat were nowhere in sight. Ooh. God, we haven't had to read as Maria in quite some time. Ah, she's back. I want a Halloween festival. I don't want to wear these clothes. I want to look like a witch. Oh, geez, and Rosa, God, it's like, oh, what year is it? Like, damn, I've taken a nap, and I've rubbed my eyes open, and I'm like, what? These characters I haven't seen in forever, they're all back. All the greatest hits. Maria, Rosa. Probably Hideyoshi. The crowd. I'm just clicking crowds. The joke. The family conference isn't for playing. We're going to meet grandfather, so you have to dress up nicely. While it wasn't completely full inside the train, it was really packed, with almost all the seats occupied by passengers. Maria was making a fuss among them, stomping her feet on the seat while Rosa scowled at her. Rosa had warned her many times to lower her voice, but Maria hadn't obeyed her at all. Once Maria got like this, no matter how much she tried to explain the situation or calm her, she wouldn't listen. Before, Rosa used to pamper Maria and give in to her at times like this, but that had probably been a mistake. Surely, Maria had gained the mistaken impression that throwing a tantrum long enough would make her mother give up and do what Maria said. Rosa had realized that error with the help of an educational book, and since then, she'd hardened the part of her heart that wanted to pamper her beloved daughter. What book? Educational book? Lip shits. Remember Rugrats? Lip shits? That was a thing. Her mutual understanding with Maria began to grow weak. and weaker. My mind just flashed lipshits. What a great name for that. Ugh. And she began to get discouraged by her own powerlessness more and more often. Halloween? Halloween? If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank. Oh, Jesus. I don't have any sweets to give you. We just ate breakfast. If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank. If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank. Wah, wah, wah. She's throwing a tantrum. A stout old woman who was sitting nearby as Maria stomped her feet picked a candy out of her handbag and held it out to Maria. Rosa needs to, like, slap that out of that old woman's hand. Just like, no! I got a sweet. Look, Mama. Mama. Happy Halloween. Oh, the music ended. She's pissed. I told you. Hey, Maria, you can't just accept sweets from strangers, right? Give it back. Oh, don't worry about it. She's such a spirited young lady. How old is she? Maybe there was no malice in the old woman's words. However, Rosa seemed to find that remark extremely humiliating. Maria, haven't I always told you not to accept sweets from strangers? She gave it to me. No, it's mine. Let go of it. How many times do I have to tell you to do what Mama says? It's mine. Mine. I could really do without the Maria versus Rosa like moments right now. I'm not in the mood. Let's go back to the sappy love stuff from the parts before, you know? I don't need this. Give me more Jessica and fucking Cannon. Give me more Shannon and George. Fuck it. Get throwback Battler being creepy and weird. I'll take that. To anyone, whatever. Fuck it. Oh. Jesus. Don't I always tell you not to say oh? Rosa reflexively hit Maria violently on her cheek. Oh boy, public displays of discipline. My favorite. In a flash, Maria started crying loudly. Rosa immediately took the candy from Maria's hand and pushed it back towards the dumbfounded old woman sitting next to them. Rosa's gonna throw it back at her and be like, it's your fault! Please, do not just give sweets to my daughter. I'm so sorry. Breathing heavily, Rosa once again held the candy out to the old woman. After getting flustered about what she would say for a few moments, perhaps the old woman realized that her actions may have troubled this parent and child, and she accepted the candy back, apologizing. This is awkward. After that, Rosa finally took notice of her surroundings. Her daughter's clothes were all messed up, she was crying and shouting with her nose dripping, and there were many dumbfounded passengers watching them. Except for the sound of the train running, the interior was completely silent. Fortunately, that pitiful silence didn't last more than a short while. However, it was followed by an even more painful atmosphere as everyone began to whisper. Maria shouted, cried, kicked, and stomped her feet as usual, paying no heed to the people sitting around her. Impulsively, Rosa tried to slap her again, but she noticed the cold eyes of the people in the train and couldn't. When the train stopped, Rosa forcibly pulled Maria's arm and got off, almost dragging her daughter along. Maria didn't stop crying. Rosa took her to the end of the platform and hit her cheek again, because that seems to be working. At the moment she was hit, Maria stopped crying for an instant, but before long, she shouted and cried even more than before. Overwhelmed with emotion, Rosa grabbed the nape of Maria's neck and dragged her, tugging at her hair. Mama, it hurts. Mama, it hurts. I gotta be honest, if it's not extremely apparent by now, probably since the beginning, I've hated reading as Maria. Like, until, you know, she's a bit more tolerable when she flips that switch and she becomes all fucking occult-like. I don't know how else to describe her. But man, when she's in this mode, I detest it so much. I hate it at the beginning. I still, to this day, I'm just like, oh, fucking Maria's back. Oh god, she's just gonna be crying a bunch. Which I guess is the point, but like she's supposed to be the annoying baby kid kind of thing. But man, having to read her out loud, my least favorite part of Umineko. Which is to say, I'm being a bit dramatic. It's not that bad, but it is by far my least favorite part of reading Umineko to the masses. But the shtick is already there. I refuse to just not read all of her cries. Or did I say I refuse to not read? I refuse to not read. Whatever. Didn't I tell you to shut up? Slap. It kills me every time I hear Rosa mimic Maria's. Rose always goes. I really wish you could replay voice lines in this game, but as far as I can tell, you can't. But man, that of yours. If you didn't hear it there, just rewind the video, the VOD, do it again. Well, listen to it again. It's very good. I told you to stop. Slap. That's the reason you can't make friends in class, right? Get a hold of yourself. Why are you still a kindergartner inside your head? Why can't you do what Mama says? Why? Why? With those severe words, Rosa hit Maria's cheek over and over again. The more Maria cried and shouted, the more Rosa hit her. And the more Maria was hit, the more intensely she cried and shouted. Mama, it hurts! Mama, it hurts! Mama, save me! Mama, save me! Why can't you stop saying This is exactly why you can't make friends. This is why Papa's business trip never ends. Jesus. This is why I...
お客さん いかがされましたか？
Excuse me, ma'am, is everything alright?
何かご用ですか？
Do you want something? Rosa, you gotta understand the situation right now. Oh god, I would be embarrassed. Oh my god, The one who timidly called to her was the station attendant. Rosa glared at the attendant with a look that said, "Don't butt into the problems of a mother and child, stranger." I mean, I'm not gonna say anything fucking spectacular here, but the irony of the situation is Rosa, in a sense, being like, "Oh, Maria, you need to stop making those crying noises. You're an adult. It's making you look bad, and it's drawing bad attention towards yourself." But, like, here we are in a public situation. Rosa is, in public, verbally essentially abusing and physically abusing her child as a form of punishment, and she is technically the one being the embarrassment, being the thing out in public, drawing a bunch of attention to themselves. I'm sure she doesn't see it as that, but yeah. Of course, the attendant surely hadn't wanted to get involved either. However, Rosa had been yelling on the platform for a much longer time than she had imagined. She's causing a ruckus. Her emotional scolding had led the passengers on the platform to advise the attendant to call out to her. Rosa yelled at the attendant, saying not to worry anymore, since they'd be getting on the next train. And then, finally, or rather for the second time, she noticed the passengers on the platform staring at her from a distance. Awkward. Rosa sweat slightly and felt a breeze make her sweat go cold, tormenting her. Maria still kept on crying, shielding her own head. Of course, if this beating continued, she'd probably keep crying indefinitely. I did it. Again. As the terrible heat in Rosa's head faded, she knew she had surrendered her soul to evil again. Ah, she let evil overcome. Mama! 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 Mama, come back! Rosa fell to her knees and hugged Maria, whose face was all soggy with tears and mucus. No, you know what really needs to happen? I would never do it because I'm much too lazy at this point. I didn't do it from the beginning. But basically, by the time I finish Umineko, 130 parts later, I need a compilation video cut of all my streams of every time I'm reading Maria's crying noise. And you can just see the evolution of me just like slowly like, because I feel like I've like been changing up how I've been reading it slightly, and the enthusiasm I've read it with. Just a long video of me. You just always see Maria on screen like crying, and then me just going just over and over. There's a compilation video idea out there. Maria, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Mama. Mama. Welcome back. Welcome back. Finally, Maria realized that her mother was her mother again. She clung to her mother's body and cried, burying her face in her mother's chest. God, what a toxic mother-daughter relationship we got going on. Oh God, it's upsetting to see. Forgive your bad mama. Forgive your bad mama. I'm so sorry. Please, don't hate your mama. I'm just fine. Won't hate mama.
に乗り移られていただけ。
Mama was only being possessed by the bad witch again.
でもママが帰ってきたから平気。
But you came back, so I'm just fine. Witch is gonna say it. Yeah, that's right.
悪い魔女にママはまた乗り移られていたの。
Mama was just being possessed by the evil witch again. Oh, and we wonder why Maria is so wrapped up with the idea of witches after this. It's all Rose's fault, dude.
ごめんね。本当にごめんね。
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. For a long time, the two of them hugged each other, asking for and sharing words of forgiveness. After a while, they calmed down and both moved back at the same time. Maria's face and Rose's face were both deep red after crying their eyes out.
Maria はハロウィンのお祭りがしたいの。
Do you want to have a Halloween festival, Maria?
うん。
Yeah.
ジョージお兄ちゃんやジェシカお姉ちゃんにかぼちゃマシュマロを見せてあげたかった。
I wanted to show those pumpkin marshmallows to George Oni-chan and Jessica Oni-chan. Oh, look at the pumpkins. It was a candy they'd been selling near the cash register at the shop where they'd eaten breakfast. A fancy sweet that had a big orange marshmallow in the shape of a jack-o'-lantern attached to the tip of a stick. Maria had wanted it and had insistently pestered Rosa for it. Rosa had refused, saying that there was no way she could buy sweets right after breakfast.
じゃあマリア、
Then, Maria?
この町に売っているかどうかわからないけど、降りて探してみようか。
I don't know if they sell those in this town or not, but let's get off and try searching for them, okay? Yeah.
ママ大好き、愛してる。
I love you, Mama. Love you so much.
ありがとう。
Thank you.
私もよ、マリ
I love you too, Maria.
ア、愛してるわ。
Oh, shit, I cut her off. Oh, I'm so over Rosa and Maria. The truth was that they didn't have time to waste loitering around at a stopover station. If they missed the airplane, they'd fall half a day behind schedule. She should have left home with more time to spare, but she'd ended up leaving late after choosing Maria's clothes. Because of that, Rosa had been a bit impatient since the morning. She looked at the clock. They had to get on the next train immediately. But her daughter firmly joined hands with her to go buy the sweet with her mother, and that hand was warm. I got tongue caught up there because I was going to say, speaking of clocks, there was some recent like Nintendo, I think, indie showcase, and I was watching it live. And there's some game called, it was like Crime O'Clock or Investigation O'Clock or something or else, and it looked like some kind of like something or another game. It actually looked somewhat interesting when I was kind of watching it. But I swear, like, they had the stylized title of the game, the O'Clock part, very much looked like O'Cock. Because the L was like part of like clock hands, I think. And at some point, especially, the clock hands were tilted in such a way where it didn't look like an L like I think it's supposed to for be O'Clock. So it literally just looked like O'Cock. Like O and then like a picture of a clock and then cock. And I remember watching it live and being like, that's really funny. And I was laughing out loud and I was like, I can't believe that I'm looking at this title and they didn't ever think that this was going to be read as O'Cock. And then like a day or two went by. And then, but I didn't like try to see like other reactions to it or anything. And then like 2 days later, I saw something on Twitter and it was people laughing about the O'Cock thing. And I'm like, okay, good to know it wasn't just me. And it was super obvious. And there were a ton of people actually being like, what is the fuck is this game? And that just popped in my head because I read the clock word. But yeah, what a silly. I'm sure the devs of that game really appreciate showing off their game for the first time, revealing their game in a prestigious, perhaps, Nintendo indie showcase, and then everyone just laugh about it because it looks like cock. Whatever. But her daughter firmly joined hands with her to go by the suite with her mother, and that hand was warm. I already read that. To Rosa, as she was now, it was more important to renew her bonds with Maria. To her, Maria was not only a beloved daughter, she was everything Rosa had. Fortunately, they could see a big supermarket right in front of the station. They may not be able to find exactly the same suite, but Maria would probably be happy with a similar one. Besides, Rosa couldn't show up with a face swelled from crying. She must fix her makeup.
あれと全く同じマシュマロは見つからないかもしれないけど、似たようなお菓子があるといいね。
Maybe we won't find a marshmallow exactly like that one, but hopefully we can find something like it.
それで、いとこのみんなを一緒に驚かそうね。
Let's buy some and surprise all your cousins together. Yeah.
ママと一緒に買うお菓子なら何でもいい。
As long as we buy it together, any sweet is fine. They exited through the turnstiles of the station in this unknown town. Maria walked across the pedestrian crossing together with her mother, chuckling to herself as though she was walking in an amusement park. Both faces were still deep red. But the two of them, mother and child, smiled warmly at each other without any restraint. Buy that marshmallow. Forget about the beating. Forgive, forget, but don't forget. Oh. Oh, we're at the mansion. Oh, thank God. No more of that, please. Dear.
こんなところでどうされたのですか?
What are you doing in a place like this?
君か。
Oh, it's you.
なんでもない。
It's nothing.
考え事をするのにここが少し心地よかっただけだ。
I just find this a pleasant place to think.
今日の準備はすべて手配が終わっています。
All of our preparations for today have been completed.
あとはお茶でも飲みながらくつろいで待とうではありませんか。
Why don't we have some tea and relax while we wait?
すまん。
Forgive me.
君にいつも面倒なことをすべて押し付けている。
I'm always making you handle such troublesome matters.
どうか
Please,
私をもっと頼
rely
ってはいただけませんか。
rely on me even more.
私はあなたの妻です。
I am your wife.
無論君にはいつも助けられているし、感謝もしている。
Naturally, I'm grateful to have you always coming to my aid.
だからこそ、私は私の仕事に専念できる。
That's precisely why I'm able to devote myself to my work.
分かっています。
I understand.
お仕事のこと、
I understand about your work.
そしてお父様の遺産の話ですね。
And the topic of father's inheritance, right?
君には関係のないことだ。
That has nothing to do with you.
欲深な兄弟たちの腐肉の漁り合いに過ぎん。
It's nothing more than fishing for rotten meat amongst greedy siblings.
大丈夫です、あなた。
It's okay, dear.
すべてうまくいきます。
Everything will go well.
あなたのお仕事がうまくいかなかったことはありません。
Your businesses have never failed to work themselves out. Natsui softly cuddled close to Krause's shoulder. She complimented Krause on his hard work, but Natsui knew better than anyone that his work wasn't going well. He's a failure. Krause's project was something like a seesaw where a large amount of money swings. Big investments can lead to massive payoffs, but like large seesaws, they tend to shake a lot when moving very slowly, instead of showing immediate results. At times, it's possible to make further investments so that the seesaw inclines faster towards the side you want. Of course, you'd only do that if you were so confident you'd be able to recover all your investments in the not-so-distant future. However, the seesaws Krause chose never turned out as he would have liked them to. His foresight wasn't wrong, but the times were moving sluggishly. As if a slug. As if like a slug. They never managed to catch up with him. For example, think of a literal seesaw placed in a park. Alright, I'm imagining. It's a really popular item, so there's always someone playing on it. And you've got to wait a long time for your turn. Let's say that one day you spotted... Do seesaws... I was literally going to ask, do seesaws still exist? I could have sworn, you know, as we were like coming through, like as like I personally was coming up through like the age of being a kid, is when like they started like eliminating and taking out some like park, like kid playground park, like what would I even call them? I want to say rides, but they're not really like rides, but like there was definitely a movement at some point to be like, you know what, this structure is probably pretty dangerous and kids could possibly hurt themselves. And I thought like seesaws fell into that category. It was like seesaws and those like very spinny things. Those spinny things were probably really dangerous because kids just loved limit testing those things, and probably injuring themselves. Kids and drunk dads, I think, ended up hurting themselves on those spinny things. I don't even know what you call those officially. And then like big metal slides, I think were also like, they were like, you know what? I just remember big metal slides, and then at some point, someone in my family, on like a sweltering Texas heat day, got on a slide and like burned their thighs somehow. It was like so hot, and they were wearing shorts or something, and then the thighs just got like burned. Something like that. I don't remember exactly. Wild though. Oh, anyway, back to seesaws. Money and seesaws. And you gotta wait a long time for your turn. Let's say that one day you spotted one of those seesaws that was completely unused, and you raced to grab it first and have it all to yourself. However, unless someone got on the opposite side of the seesaw, you wouldn't be able to play on it. What if lots of time passed and nobody came to the opposite end? Seesaws are popular, so if you wait long enough, a companion will surely show up. But Kraus noticed something. The weather is getting worse. So, nobody's coming outside to play. But seesaws are popular, so someone will surely come eventually. If he vacated his place because of the worsening weather, it'd certainly be snatched away. And once again, he'd end up longingly gazing from a distance at someone else having fun on the seesaw. On one side of the seesaw, he continued to wait patiently, all alone. That was Kraus's project, and his current situation.
私にもう少しの勇気と自分の先見性を信じる自信があれば
If only I had a bit more courage and the self-confidence to believe in my own foresight,
いつだって失敗はしなかった
I would never have failed.
ええ、そうです。
Yes, that's true.
あなたの先見性はいつも間違っていません。
Your foresight is never wrong.
あなただけがお父様の才覚を受け継いだのです。
You are the only one who inherited father's resourcefulness.
他の兄弟たちが誰も受け継がなかった天性のものを受け継がれた。
You inherited an innate disposition that none of the other siblings did.
なのに私はそれを信じられず
But I could never believe in it.
いつも臆病に自らの事業を畳んできた
I always shut my own projects down like a coward.
なぜ自分を信じることができないのか
Why can't I believe in myself?
自分を信じられない男を誰が信じる
Who would believe in a man who can't believe in himself?
誰も信じない
Nobody believes.
私はいつも敗者の座るべき椅子に自ら座り
I'm always sitting on the seat where the losers must sit.
親父にもおふくろにも
And my father, my mother,
兄弟たちにも笑われる
my siblings all sneer at me.
私はいつになったらこのコンプレックスから解放されるのだ
How long is it going to take for me to be set free of this emotional complex?
いつになったら
Just how long will it take? Nasui was the only one who knew. Only she knew of Kraus's anguish. As the eldest son of the Ishiromiya family, who would soon be forced to bear an immense responsibility, he couldn't open his pained heart to anyone and was always getting compared to his father's great enterprises.
あなたが親族会議に専念できるよう、すべての手配を済ませています。
I've made preparations concerning all other matters, so that you'll be able to devote your attention entirely to the family conference.
すべて。
Yes, everything else has been seen to.
すまん
Thank you.
親父殿の件は
Will there be
問題ないかね
any problems dealing with father?
はい。
No.
源氏と南條先生は私たちの味方です。
Genji and Dr. Nanjo are on our side.
あの強欲な兄弟たちを決してお父様には会わせません。
I'll never allow those greedy siblings to make contact with father.
もしもし。はい、ゴーダです。
It's kind of interesting that here in episode 2, we're kind of seeing the events that seemingly surrounded the events that we saw in day 1. I've been curious the last few streams whether we're going to actually retread some of the same ground, possibly, and if that is the case, why are we doing that, or if things are going to change. I've had many thoughts that I'm not going to go too deep into the stream because I'm just going to kind of let whatever happens, but like, it is interesting to see, like, I assume we're getting all this surrounding things for a reason, either to give more context to possibly the events that did happen in episode 1, but we're essentially, it seems as if we're building if Umineko was a sandwich so far of what I've been playing, and episode 1 is your meat, your selected protein, your selected I don't know, your sandwich type, whatever you want to call it. Episode 2 has been like the top layer of bread or bun or whatever metaphor you want to go with. We've seen from different characters' perspectives leading up to the family conference, which is interesting. Interesting. I bet we do retread ground. I just don't know how this game... I'm so many hours into this game. I think the last time I checked, like, Steam told me... Let me check. Steam says 43.5 hours. I am curious. I'm still curious how this game is actually formatted. I mean, I'm generally... I mean, I've seen what I have seen up to this point, and I know that I'm still in the questions arc, and there's the answers arc after this. But I still don't know how this is all actually going to shake out format-wise. It's one of those things where I wish I had answers, but like the only way to get answers is to continue reading, and yet I'm delaying that for some reason. Hello, Goda here. Hey, Goda.
お任せください。
Yes, please leave it to me.
年に一度の大仕事に腕が鳴っております。
I'm anxious to put my skills to work for the big annual job. In the kitchen, multicolored ingredients were gathered and the preliminary arrangements were promptly being started. Even though it was still morning, the ingredients for dinner were already in saucepans and steaming. Normally, he had to deal with several assorted matters, but on the day of the family conference, he could devote himself entirely to cooking. To Goda, who was originally a chef, this was surely the greatest gala occasion of the whole year.
ディナーには子牛のステーキを。
I'm trying to remember. Did the other servants kind of hate Goda? I'm pretty sure Goda is like the least liked. I'm either imagining this, or I feel as if the case was that like all the other servants were like, fuck this Goda guy. He thinks he's so good. But I could just be making that up. Yes, dinner will be calf steak.
素晴らしい肉がすでに保冷庫で今夜を待ちわびておりますよ。
A wonderful cut of meat is already anxiously waiting for tonight in the refrigerator.
まかないも今夜はぜひ期待してください。
Please be sure to look forward to dinner. It was rare for Goda to be in this good of a mood towards his fellow servants. Goda bragged about being the Ishimiya family's personal chef, and knowing he was considered worthy to display his excellent cooking at the family conference was his greatest honor.
わかった。
Understood.
任せるのでよろしく頼む。
I will leave everything to you.
あと、熊沢がそちらにいないか。
Also, is Kumasawa there?
熊沢さんですか。
Kumasawa-san.
先ほど見かけましたが、こちらにはおりません。
I happened to see her earlier, but she is not here.
ゲストハウスの方へ準備に行かれたのではないでしょうか。
Perhaps she went to get things ready in the guest house.
また油を売っているのか。
Is she loafing around again?
いや、結構だ。
No, it is fine.
では引き続きよろしく頼む。
Please continue with your work.
アンジ、この豪太にお任せを。
Yes, leave everything to me, Gota. Genji placed the telephone back on the receiver, sighing lightly. Genji sighed once again, thinking of Kumasawa, who was probably hiding again even though things were this busy, and the ostentatious Gota, who had only felt like doing anything on a day when he could show off.
失礼します。
Excuse me.
ゲストハウスの各お部屋の準備が整いました。
The preparations for all the rooms in the guest houses are complete.
お嬢様よりお子様方が泊まれるよう4人分の用意をするようにとのご指示を賜りましたが、いかがいたしましょう。
We received instructions from a lady to prepare a room for 4 people, so that the children could spend the night together. So what shall we do?
今年は6年ぶりにバトラ様がお見えになるそうだ。
I hear Battler-sama will be coming for the first time in 6 years.
お嬢様もいとこ4人で夜更かしをされたいのだろう。
Presumably, the lady wants to stay up late into the night with her 3 cousins.
準備するように
Make the preparations.
奥様にはお伝えしなくてよい。
You do not need to tell Madam.
そうですね。
I see.
かしこまりました。
Certainly.
今夜は深夜勤で、そのまま明日は早朝勤か。
So tonight, we'll have the late night shift, followed immediately by the morning shift.
しんどい2日間になりそうだな。
Looks like these 2 days will be tiresome.
そういえば、台風が直撃するって天気予報で言っていますね。
That's me on a Tuesday. Bwah, bwah. These next 2 days will be tiresome. I guess that joke could have been made about any 2 consecutive days of work. Speaking of which, the weather forecast is saying a typhoon will strike in this area.
大丈夫でしょうか。
And I'm using the term joke very liberally there. That was a very bad joke. It wasn't even good. It wasn't even funny. Which would then beg the argument, is it a joke at all? Will everything be alright?
台風がよほどそれない限り、場合によっては親族の皆様方のお帰りの船に響くだろう。
Assuming the typhoon doesn't stray too far from its course, it may affect the boat ride back for the family members.
親族会議の日程が月曜か火曜あたりまで長引くかもしれない。
The family conference's schedule might be extended until Monday or Tuesday.
長丁場になるだろうが、
But that shouldn't be bad. It's not like people are gonna start killing each other or
粗相のない
anything.
ように頼む。
Our task may be a long and tiring one, but I earnestly ask that you take care not to make any blunders.
シャノンは焦らぬよう落ち着いて。
Shannon, remain calm and do not panic.
カノンは愛想よくご挨拶をするように。
Cannon, be sure to greet our guests in a sociable manner. Don't be a dick.
はい。
Yes,
注意します。
I'll be careful.
注意します。
I'll be careful.
大切なお客様がお越しになられる日だ。
Today, we must conduct ourselves in a manner suitable for a very important guest.
くれぐれも粗相がないように。
See to it that you make no blunders.
心得ています。
We understand.
いつだって。ここには大切なお客様しか訪れませんから。
All guests who visit here are important.
カノン、
Cannon,
今日は本当の意味で
in the truest sense,
大切なお客様を迎える。
we will be receiving a very important guest today.
心構えを改めるように。
Make sure that you are prepared.
はい。
Yes, sir.
シャノン、どうした？
Shannon, is something the matter?
さっきから何かそわそわしているようだが、何か時間の約束でもあるのか？
You seem to be uneasy. Do you have some prior engagement at this time? Genji has to be referring to, like, Beatrice, right? And if not, who is he referring to? But I don't think that's the case. I think he is referring to Beatrice. But then, the question then just is, why is he referring to Beatrice like that? Why is he being kind of half coy about it? How and why? Unless it's just not a well thought out, like, wink, nod to us, the reader. But I mean, I don't know. I can't decide. Huh?
い もありません。
No, it's nothing.
失礼いたしました。
My apologies.
姉さん、
Nissan.
今日は大切なお客様がお越しになる日なんだよ。
Important guests will be arriving today.
プライベートとは切り離すようにね。
Detach yourself from your private life.
プライベートなんか知りません。
I don't know what you mean by private life. Yeah, you do, Shannon. She's getting all flustered because of George, right? She knows that George is coming. He had said previously, hey, I mean, we saw it just at the top of the stream. George coming, being like, I'm going to propose to you. So, which brings interesting context to the original then. Remember the whole, God, it feels like forever ago, but when I was making the, I am 16, going on 17, something, da 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 da. Remember that whole moment? And George, like, proposed to her. That wasn't very much, like, a surprise. This was very much one of the, which I know some people prefer, but the non-surprise, like, I'm going to engage, I'm going to propose, I'm going to engage, engage! I'm going to propose to you at this moment, so be ready for it kind of thing. Like, she knew. It wasn't a secret. It wasn't a surprise. She knew. They both knew. Everyone knows. As Shannon blushed just a bit, she turned her gaze away from the clock. The cock. Was it about time for the airplane carrying the family to arrive at Nijima? She tried to hide the fact that her upcoming long-awaited reunion with George was making her heart race, but Cannon, who stood beside her, seemed to see right through her. He knows. Does he know? Dot meme. I gotta replenish my water. My throat is dry as shit. I'm gonna let the scenes flash through. Oh, he's in the bathroom.
これを黙って受け取ってくれ。
Shannon, please don't say a word and accept this. Oh, is he rehearsing? What a fucking dork. Okay, I'm gonna get some water. Be right back. Now I just have the Sound of Music song stuck in my head. I was running through the gamut. I was like just listing and singing as many as I could remember off the top of my head as I was back and forth from the fridge. Alright, he says, Shannon, please don't say a word and accept this. Inside a bathroom stall, George is practicing something over and over, taking out a small velvet box hidden in his pocket like a quick-draw desert gunman.
いや違うな。
That's not it.
シャノンは牽引力のある男性が好きなんだ。
Shannon likes men who are more assertive.
もっと馬力がある感じじゃないとダメだ。
I've got to pump it up with more horsepower.
シャノン、これを薬指につけるんだ。
Shannon, put this on your ring finger. You whore! You Piccadilly whore! Hey, oh yeah, I've got to be so forceful now. Oh God.
命令だよ。
George is not cool. We went through episode 1 thinking he was maybe like, not cool, not in that sense of the word cool, but like, oh, he's calm and collected, and he is always confident, and you just see him in the bathroom stall just being like, oh, do you want to marry me? Oh, he says that's in order, okay? What a dork.
ああ、左手とちゃんと言わないと右手にされちゃうかもしれない。
If I don't say properly, that's if I don't say properly, that's on the left hand. Maybe she'll put it on her right hand.
いや、シャノンもそこまでかまととじゃないけど。
No, Shen isn't that ignorant.
ああ、でも少しは自由意志がないとなんだかその。
But unless there's some room for her to express her free will, that'd be a little, I mean... Oh, he's like a race car engine. Like shifting into gears. Alright, let me try this. He went... As he crossed his arms, muttering, someone knocked on the door. Jojo snapped back to reality.
Oh, George-kun.
Hey, George-kun.
大丈夫か?
You okay?
腹の調子でも悪いのか?
Got a stomach ache or something?
ルドルフおじさん。
Hey, Uncle Rudolph.
大丈夫です。平気です。
It's okay, I'm fine.
ご心配は無用です。
No need to worry.
そっか?
Really?
ならいいんだけどね。
That's good then.
無理して力みすぎるなよ。
But you know, you're straining way too much.
尻が切れちまうぜ。
Your ass will burst. I don't like that. Rudolph washed his hands, laughing cheerfully as he left. God, that's like dad humor. You're stressing too hard. Your ass will just blow. Rudolph washed his hands, laughing cheerfully as he left. George, realizing that the most embarrassing part hadn't been overheard, relaxed and felt extremely relieved.
キリエ、ローザはまだ来ないのか?
Kyrie, isn't Rosa here yet?
まだよ。
Oh, it's good old Kyrie, dude. She's back. So that she may teach Battler all about spinning that chessboard again. Can't wait. Not yet.
遅いわね。
She's pretty late.
天候調整中だからいいようなもの。
It's a good thing the weather's delaying our flight.
これで普段通りのダイヤだったらあいつ乗り遅れちまうぜ。
If the schedule had gone on normally, she would have missed the plane.
そしたらどうする気なんだあいつ。
What'd she plan on doing then?
ローザさんだっていい年の大人よ。
Rosa-san is very much an adult now.
なんとかするわ。
She'll manage it somehow.
兄って人はいくつになっても妹を子供扱いなのね。
No matter how old they get, older brothers always treat their younger sisters like children.
親父だって。
Hey,
いくつになっても子供だ
Battler!
けどな。
Of course, Dad's always a kid, no matter how old he gets.
だと? 俺が子供ならおめえは赤ん坊じゃねえか。
Of course, he's very childlike. Just had some fucking potty humor in the other room. What'd you say? If I'm a kid, that'd make you a baby.
ほれほれ、バトラちゃん、高い高い。
Come on, Battler Chan, up you go.
やめろ、くすぐって。やめ。
Stop it, that tickles. What? Stop.
親子ってより悪ガキ仲間って感じね。
You look more like two bratty friends than a father and son.
ほら、いらしたわよ。
Look, she's here.
おおおお
Oh!
ローザさんやないか。
If it isn't Rosa-san.
マリアちゃん、久しぶりやの。
Maria-chan, long time no see. Hello. Hello.
久し
Long time no see. Ugh.
マリア、
Maria,
お久しぶりです。でしょ？
shouldn't that be it's good to see you again?
言ってごらん。
Greet Hideyoshi-san properly. Oh, Jesus. She learned nothing. They just had their moment on the platform. The train platform. And then fucking... She's back. She's back. Lost the beginning. Can I resume the previous scene? You want me to go all the way back? Yeah, let me just start scrolling here for a while. Let's just let's see how far back. Oh, nope, I can only go there. It's good to see you again. Just know that I found it extremely awkward. I was like, oh god, we're back to Rosa and Maria doing their thing. Ah.
そうや。
There you go.
よく言えたな。
Well said.
ご褒美に飴玉あげような。
How about some candy as a reward?
あれ
Oh,
どこにしまったんや。
where'd I put it?
ローザさん、お久しぶりです。
Rosa-san, it's good to see you again.
マリアちゃんもお久しぶり。
It's good to see you too, Maria-chan.
ご無沙汰してます、キリエ姉さん、秀吉兄さん。
It's been too long, Kairi-ni-san, Hideyoshi-ni-san.
と、あら、バトラ君？
And, oh my, Balor-kun!
大きくなったわね。
Look how big you've gotten!
いや
That was good. Oh, come on.
今日は会うたびに言われてて恥ずかしいっすよ。
It's embarrassing to hear that from everyone I meet.
おう、ローザ。
Hey, Rosa.
遅かったな。
You're late.
飛行機がダイヤ通りだったらギリギリってとこだったぜ。
If the plane was on time, you'd barely have made it. I'm
ごめん
sorry.
なさい。
I'm sorry.
列車の接続がうまくいかなくて。
We had some trouble making our train connection. Oh, is that what you call it? Trouble making the train connection? Is that what they call it these days?
何？また天候調査中なの？
So, are we waiting on the weather again?
ぼやかないぼやかない。
Oh, don't complain.
船で6時間も揺られるくらいなら飛行機でほんの30分の方がずっとマシよ。
I much prefer the 30-minute plane trip to spending 6 hours bouncing about on a boat.
たとえ1時間余計に待たされたって全然早いんだから。
Even if we're kept waiting here for an hour, it's still much faster overall.
あれがマリアなのか。
Is that Maria?
大きくなったな。
Sure, have gotten big.
成長期か。
She's at that growing age.
前に会ったのは6年前？
You haven't seen her for 6 years, right?
それは変わるわよ。
Of course she's changed.
女は心変わりがあれば、たった1日でも生まれ変わる生き物よ。
What? Women are creatures who can be born again in a single day when they have a change of heart. Alright, Rosa, I'll take your word for it. Maria, noticing a big man she didn't recognize mixed in among the relatives, hid behind Rosa's back and glared at Battler.
おい、バトラ。挨拶しろい。
Come on, Battler. Say hi.
前にやったのが3歳の時じゃ。初対面も同じだぞ。
The last time you met her, she was just 3 years old, so you're practically meeting for the first time.
3歳じゃ覚えてねえよな。
Yeah, of course she wouldn't remember something that happened when she was 3.
よ、マリア。久しぶり。
Hey, Maria. Long time no see.
大きくなったな。
You sure have gotten big.
マリア、
Maria,
バトラお兄ちゃんよ。
this is Battler Oni-chan.
ルドルフおじさんの息子さん。
Rudolph Nissan's son.
わかる？
Understand?
おじさんの息子さんが、
The brother's son is...
おじさんが息子さん。
The brother is the son... Confusion. She was obviously on her guard. After all, it was hardly surprising that she'd be scared if a large guy like Battler suddenly started speaking frankly to her. Battler noticed that as well and thought of various ways he might approach her. I'm trying to remember if this is the same dialogue that we had at the beginning of the game. Is this? I don't know. Then he spotted the candy she had in her hand. It was the jack-o'-lantern sweet Rose had bought for her.
そっか。10月だからハロウィンか。
I see, it's October, so that must be for Halloween.
お菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃうぞ。
If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank, right? Normally, trying to snatch a sweet away from a small child will result in them crying and screaming. The adults seemed dubious about Battler's tactics, but Maria looked unexpectedly pleased, her face splitting into a wide grin. Halloween! Halloween! This is Halloween! This is Halloween! See, Ma? Battler also knows about Halloween. See? See?
こら、バトラーお兄ちゃんと呼びなさい。
Hey, call him Battler Oni-chan.
ごめんね、バトラ君。
Sorry, Battler-kun.
いやいや、気にしないっすよ。
Oh no, don't sweat it.
俺はバトラと呼んでくれ。
Please call me Battler.
俺もマリアって呼ぶからな。
Because I'll be calling you Maria.
ほらマリア、ハロウィンだぞ。
Look, Maria, it's Halloween.
お菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃうぞ。
If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank.
お菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃうぞ。
If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank. Kia ha ha ha, giggle. From inside her purse, Maria picked out a jack-o'-lantern sweet, similar to the one she had in her hand, presented it to Battler. When Battler accepted it, that seemed to be enough to confirm their friendship. The adults were amazed at how good children can be at getting along with each other. Maria had been throwing a tantrum because she wanted a Halloween festival, so Battler, who knew about trick-or-treating, must have felt like an ally. Her defensive posture from before was completely gone. Now she was all cheery as though they'd been friends for decades.
そうだな。日本じゃハロウィンってマイナーなイベントだよな。
That's right, Halloween's a pretty minor event in Japan.
仮装行列で練り歩くなんて向こうのニュースではよく見るけど日本じゃ見たことないぜ。
You always see people marching in costume parades on the news from overseas, but I've never seen it here.
マリアも仮装したかった。
I wanted to wear a costume too.
仮装していとこみんなでお菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃうぞってやりたかった。
Wanted to say trick or treat with all the cousins wearing costumes.
そっかそっか。今度俺と一緒にやろうな。
I see, I see. Next time, let's do it together. Now, I'm not saying I'm one for fashion. I don't know little child's fashion in Japan in the 80s. I don't know what rich families would put their little girls into. But I mean, if you would ask me what's like a nice halfway between regular clothing and what seems to be like a costume, Maria's kind of almost got it. She's got like this... I'm so bad at describing clothing, but like... She's got a little thing. She's got a little thing on her head. It's not... You know, I don't know if I made mention of her outfit necessarily before, but like now it just feels funny to me that she's like, oh, I wish I was wearing a costume. It's like, I mean, damn, Maria, look at what you're wearing. You look pretty done up costume-wise, but whatever. Next time, let's do it together.
マリアだったら何の仮装をして練り歩きたい？
What would you like to dress up as? Look at her original sprite. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Oh, witch! Beatrice. Oh, God. Oh, the music is fading. Oh, God. I'm scared. What? Wow. Pretty much the same. Yeah. Then, yeah. We're fast forward. Oh no, we're probably just not fast forward. We're probably just setting changed here. Oh, milady, what are you doing in such a place? Madam was looking for you. I'm here because I don't want to be found. Anyway, I'm sure she just wants to scold me like, is your appearance alright and watch your language.
違いありません。
Without a doubt.
私はさ、
You know,
なぜか親族会議の日になるとこの魔女様が気になるんだよ。
when the day of the family conference comes, I always start thinking about this witch for some reason.
ほう、
Oh?
それはまたどうしてでございましょう。
And why might that be?
親族会議ってのはじい様に連なる全ての一族老頭が集まる日だ。
The family conference is a day when everyone related to grandfather gathers.
今年は6年ぶりにバトラも来るそうじゃねえか。
I hear that this time even Battler is going to be coming after 6 years.
そんな感じでさ、
What if, just like that,
何十年かぶりに今までずっと姿を現さなかった親族がひょっこりと現れるんじゃないかっていつも思ってるんだよ。
some relative who hasn't shown themselves for several decades suddenly shows up? That's what I'm always thinking about.
ほほう、
Oh.
そんな親族がおりますでしょうか。
Could a relative like that exist?
ベアトリーチェ様だよ。
I mean Beatrice-sama.
素性は誰も知らない。
Nobody knows her background.
あるいは大昔のじい様の愛人なのか。
Could she be grandfather's mistress from long ago?
その子孫がひょっこりと現れて授けた黄金を返せなんて言い出すかもしれないぜ。
What if one of her descendants suddenly appears and tells us to return the gold we were given or something? Yeah, that would be wild.
クラウス様たちは親方様の遺産問題で今年も議論されるでしょうから。
Kraus-sama and the others will probably discuss the master's inheritance problem this year too.
こうも魔女の黄金の話で盛り上がっては、黄金を与えた魔女本人がそろそろおいでになってもおかしくありませんね。
Once they get so fired up talking about the witch's gold, one could hardly be surprised if that witch herself were to show up, yes?
熊沢さんはさ、
Kumasawa-san?
辞めたり勤めたりと忙しいけど、源氏さん並みに昔からここに出入りしてるわけでしょ。
I guess you keep quitting and getting rehired, but you've been here as long as Genji-san, right?
ベアトリーチェのこともっと知ってるんじゃないの？
You know more about Beatrice, don't you?
さて、
Oh.
どうでしょうね。
Who knows?
思い出そうにもこの老いぼれ、今朝の朝食すらも思い出せませんので。
Even if I try to remember, this old woman here can't even recall what she had for breakfast this morning.
熊沢さんはいっつもそういう言い方で逃げるけど、何か知ってそうなんだよな。
Kumasawa-san, you're always dodging with those excuses, but you know something, right?
知ってて物陰で笑ってるみたいな陰湿な雰囲気が時々するぜ。
Sometimes you feel kind of devious, like you know something and you're laughing behind our backs.
これは手厳しい。
Oh, that's harsh.
隠し事など何もしておりません。
I don't have any secrets.
私から申し上げられることは、
Only thing I can say is that Beatrice-sama is the Golden Witch.
ベアトリーチェ様は黄金の魔女であられて、この島の夜を支配されているもう一人の主人であられるということだけでございます。
And that she is the other master who controls the night of this island.
じい様の受け売りかよ。
Okay, now you're just repeating stuff grandfather said.
給料もらってるとはいえ、じい様の妄言に付き合うのも大変だな。
It must be a pain to play along with grandfather's crap, even though you get paid for it.
ただ、これだけは申し上げられます。
However, I can say this much.
何？
What?
六軒島は太古の昔、小豆島と呼ばれて恐れられてきました。
In ancient times, Rokenjima was feared and called Azukishima, Azuki being island.
小豆は悪時期がなまったものと言われ、本当は悪時期島と呼ばれていたのだと、漁民たちの間では伝えられておりました。
The Azuki is said to be a corrupted form of Akujiki. I'm sure I'm reading this 100% flawlessly. And in fact, it was called Akujikishima, Evil Appetite Island. That is what is told among the fishermen.
前にも聞いたよ。
purely 100% Japanese reading skill. I've heard about that before.
この辺は暗礁が多くて海難事故が多かったから領民たちが恐れてむやみに近づかなかったって話だろ
Supposedly, there's lots of sunken rocks and shipwrecks around here, so the fishermen get scared and stayed away whenever they could, right?
悪食島には悪霊が住み着いていて、太古の昔から人々の魂を喰らい続けてきました。
Evil spirits settle down in Akujikishima and have continually eaten the souls of people since ancient times.
この島に関わり、命を奪われた人間はあまりにも多いのです。
Quite a few people lost their lives because of this island. Some true Japanese, it's got mostly no tonal variation. Pronounce most everything the same way. Huh. Huh. Interesting.
それを旅の修験者だかなんだかが例の社を作って鎮魂したんで収まったってんじゃなかったっけ
I always try. I know at this point there's many examples of me reading, I feel, a lot of like Japanese names and stuff here on the channel, and I try as hard as I possibly can to not come across as an extremely white guy saying Japanese words poorly. But it can only be done so well by me. But I try my best, so there's that. And then that monk, the traveling Shugenja, or whatever, built that shrine, I just can't read tonight. I was struggling even an hour ago. Reposed the souls and settled them there, right? Sounds pretty crazy, though.
その鎮魂の社はこの夏、暗き闇を引き裂く紫色の不気味な雷で打ち砕かれたとか。
And that shrine for the repose of souls was destroyed by an eerie violet thunderbolt this summer, which tore up the darkness of the night.
熊沢さんその話好きだな
Kumasawa-san, you really like those stories.
確かに鎮魂の社が落雷でなくなっちまうなんて不気味だが
Okay, sure. It'd be pretty creepy if a thunderbolt took out a shrine.
まあもともとオンボロだったしな
But, well, it was all worn out from the start.
ちょっと高い波にでもさらわれたんじゃねえのかな
Maybe it just got washed away by some big wave.
眠りから目覚めた悪食島の悪霊がベアトリーチェ様を呼び寄せたのです。
Gotta always have to slow down when she says this island name. The evil spirits of Akuji Kishima woke from their slumber and summoned Beatrice-sama.
もしベアトリーチェ様が親族会議に訪れられるようなことがあったなら
If Beatrice-sama happens to pay a visit to the family conference.
あったなら
If she does? Kumasawa fell silent for a moment. Jessica was pressing her to keep going, so the gap felt strange and eerie. When Kumasawa noticed that she had Jessica plenty scared with her silence, she grinned broadly.
はてさて、どんなことになるやら。
Well now, I wonder what would happen.
へえ、そいつは素敵じゃないかよ。
Whoa, that sounds great.
でしょ
Of course.
たまには優雅な時間を得て、あなたの心を豊かにするのも、あなたの仕事に役に立つんじゃないかしら。
Won't you be able to do better at work if you get a chance to enrich your heart by living the good life every once in a while?
だな。
Yep.
心と財布は豊かじゃなきゃいけねえ。
Can't live right unless both your wallet and your heart are enriched, after all.
わかったよ。その日は開けておくことにする。
Sure, I'll keep that day open.
予約を頼むぜ。
Go ahead and make reservations.
わかったわ。
Okay.
絶対よ。
Don't even think of missing it.
ああ、よろしく頼む。
Yeah, I'm counting on you.
愛してるぜ、キリエ。
I love you, Kyrie. Kyrie. Kyrie? Kyrie. After kissing the receiver, Rudolph hung up. Before his seat, there were several executives with their sleeves rolled up, eagerly awaiting the end of that phone call.
すまん、待たせたぜ。
Sorry to keep you waiting.
アメリカから連絡は来たか？
Have we heard anything from the States yet?
はい。
Yes.
外線にデイル渡辺弁護士からです。
You have a call from Dale Watanabe, the lawyer.
おつなぎします。
I'll transfer it.
結局のところ、感触はどうなんだ？
On the whole, how's it going?
それがその一つ芳しくないようでして。
Well, there does seem to be one unfortunate matter.
先方は裁判を持ちさないつもりのようです。
It appears the other party has no intentions of withdrawing from the trial.
やっぱりごまかしきれねえかな。
Guess there's no fooling them.
つないでくれ。
Please, transfer it here.
わかりました。
Understood.
すぐに。
I'll do that right away. The executive ordered that the external line be transferred to the secretarial office. At once, the phone in front of Rudolph rang.
もしもし。
Hey there.
ハローハロー。
Hello, hello.
お待たせしました。後宮です。
Sorry for the wait. Yushiromiya speaking.
どうもどうも。
Thanks. Thanks.
いかがですかそちらは。
How's it going on your end?
Hello, President Ushiromiya.
Hello, President Yushiromiya.
挨拶は抜きで本題に入りましょう。
Let's skip the pleasantries and jump into the main issue.
いいニュースと悪いニュースがありますが、どちらを先にしますか？
I've got good news and bad news. Which would you like first? Don't you just love it when people say that? Generally speaking, there's only honestly, there's only one person in my life that I like hearing good news, bad news being presented to me like that. That's like my best friend. Whenever he says there's good news and bad news, it's usually delivered with like a very good punchline. But generally speaking, I'm always a bad news first person. Just if you're like, hey, good news, bad news, which do you want first? I'll be like, yeah, just give me the bad news. Fuck it. I think that's always the most logical order to go in.
悪いニュースが先がいいな。
Might as well start with the bad.
デザートがないと頑張れないたちなんだ。
Yep, Rudolph is the same. Me and Rudolph. We're so similar. I hate fighting when there's no dessert.
わかりました。
Very well.
悪いニュースは先方が当方を告発する準備に入ったということです。
The bad news is that the other party is getting ready to prosecute.
つい先日、類似した裁判で原告が圧勝する判決が出されました。
Just a few days ago, a similar trial resulted in decision in favor of the plaintiff.
被告側も当方が主張するのとほぼ同じ内容で論戦していたのですが、すべてにおいて却下されました。
The defendants were using roughly the same arguments we planned to use, but they were rejected in every case.
残念ながら、このまま法廷に臨めば、当方の主張はことごとく却下される可能性が極めて高いでしょう。
I'm afraid to say it, but if we face the courtroom, as we are now, it's extremely likely that each one of our claims will get rejected.
例の裁判、全滅だったか。
So, that trial ended up being a total bust after all.
うちより有利な条件だったと思ってたんだが。
And I thought their position was even more solid than ours.
そりゃ辛いな。
That hurts.
で、いいニュースは？
Okay, what about the good news?
先方の幹部と接触できました。
I managed to contact the executives of the other party.
先方に当方の立ち位置を説明し、
Oh, that's it. I explained the situation we're in, told them we have no intention of tarnishing their brand's image, and managed to get an understanding.
先方のブランドイメージを侵害する意図がないことを説明し、理解を得ることができました。
They'll send us their terms over the next few days, and if these are carried out, they promise to withdraw their charges.
先方は近日中に条件提示を行い、それらの履行が行われるなら告発を見送ると約束しました。
This is their proposal according to the number 2 man on their board of directors.
感触は？
Your impression?
取締役会のナンバー2による発言です。
To be honest, I expect their terms will be extremely severe. Well, yeah, they have you by the balls, apparently.
正直、非常に厳しいものになると予想されます。
We estimate that changing the company name and the brand name will be inevitable.
当方の想定では避けられないものとして、社名変更、ブランド名変更、
I think we'll be able to earn some leeway by playing with the amount of settlement money, making a public apology in a major newspaper.
交渉の余地のあるものとして若い金額、大手新聞への謝罪広告掲載、それらの履行期間と見ています。
And carrying all this out with a reasonable amount of time.
うちに潰れろと一言言やいいのに、周りくどい奴らだぜ。
They sure are making this complicated when they could just tell us to go broke.
先方は近年2代目社長に交代したばかりで、まだ足固めが終わっていません。
They only recently switched to a new president, and their groundwork hasn't been completely laid out.
当方が徹底抗戦した場合、現社長に失点を与えたい勢力が何らかの利的工作をしかねないと懸念しています。
If we resist until the bitter end, they fear If we resist until the bitter end, they fear the forces opposing the current president won't hesitate to aid their enemies.
そのため、先方トップも本件を速やかに解決したいという思惑があるようです。
Hence, their big shots want this matter settled as quickly as possible, too.
そのため、迅速な和解のために多少の条件緩和を引き出せる余地も残っているかもしれません。
So, we might still have enough leeway to get them to mitigate their terms if it'll lead to a quick settlement.
いずれにせよ、とんでもねえ金が必要になるか。
Either way, are we still looking at a crazy sum of money?
その覚悟は必要です。
You need to be prepared for that.
そして、それでも懲罰的賠償金よりははるかに安いかと。
Even that would be much cheaper than paying punitive damages.
ありがとう先生。
Thank you very much, sir.
また進展があったら連絡してください。
Please contact me if anything new happens.
先生は高級鳥だから、ヨタ話もできねえ。
We're paying you the big bucks, so no idle chit-chat.
Thank you, thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. Rudolph hung up the phone. The executives sitting in reception seats seemed to have guessed at the contents of that discussion.
聞こえたか野郎ども。
You guys hear that?
まあそうじるとだ。
Simply put,
金さえ積み
we're
や
fucked.
堪忍してやるぜってわけだ。
No, they'll forgive us if we can pile up enough money.
あとは金の高だけを争点にすりゃいい。
Now, all we gotta do is haggle over the amount of that money.
しかし社長、
But, President,
渡辺氏の示した和解金の想定額はあまりにも膨大です。
the likely sum for the settlement Mr. Watanabe indicated is too much.
それだけの余裕はありません。
We don't have that much of a margin.
こんなことになるって分かってたら、高くかなんて始めんじゃなかったぜ。
If we'd known this would happen, we never would have started diversifying.
3年しのげれば、資金的危機は脱出できる計算でした。
The calculations were that we could escape a capital crisis if we managed to endure it for 3 years.
まさかここで刺されるなんて、本当についてない。
To think we'd be stabbed at a time like this. How bad can our luck get?
ホップ、ステップ、ジャンプのステップでこけちまったんだもんな。
I guess we fell at the step of the hop, step, and jump.
泣けるぜ。
It's enough to make you cry. Like the seagulls.
メインバンクから金を引っ張るしかありません。
We have no choice but to draw the money from the main bank.
銀行はまずいな。
Banks are no good.
連中は勝ち馬にしか金を出さん。
They only bet their money on winners.
景気は上向いてるが、銀行に弱みは見せられねえ。
The economy is improving, but we can't show weakness to the banks.
社長、
President,
妨害に資金はありますか？
do we have access to any funds that are unaccounted for?
我々の把握していない資金です。
Funds we are unaware of?
よせやい。
Quit it.
俺がそういう男に見えるかよ。
Do I look like that kind of man?
俺の財布の中身は全てお前らにさらしてるぜ。
The contents of my wallet are totally exposed to you guys, okay?
そこにある帳簿が我が社の全てだ。
The account books over there show all our company has.
なら、金策が必要です。
In that case, we need to raise money.
数百万ドル単位を引っ張れるスポンサーが大至急必要です。
We need a sponsor who can draw in several millions for us as soon as possible.
社長、
President,
社長の交友関係でなんとかなりませんでしょうか。
couldn't something be worked out with one of our personal connections? One of your personal connections. President!
社長!
President!
ああ、落ち着けてめえら。
Unless I'm mistaken, I assume I'm getting background into what we then learned of in potentially episode 1 of what he is potentially drawing money, siphoning money from the family, basically. Possibly. Also, I mentioned it earlier in the stream, how we're getting, like, just a lot of, like, explanation for events that had happened in episode 1. But it's something I not just realized, but really just, like, formulated in my mind here is that we're seeing, like, here in episode 2, like, a bunch of, like, little vignettes. It feels very disjointed because in episode 1 it was very, like, linear in the story progression. Basically, we saw event, and it was very, like, chronological. You can explain like that. And this, we're, like, jumping back and forth, different settings, different people, just seeing, like, things happening around and a little bit before, a lot before, the day before the family event and everything. It's interesting, presentation-wise. Rudolph here says, calm down, you bastards. Let me worry about raising the money. You guys just keep the business running without making too much noise. Our accusers are saying they'll let us be if we can show them the money. We've already got thick pipelines in Asia. Things will probably be shaky, but we'll be able to maintain our current deals. Basically, if we can just bring the money together, we'll be able to solve all our problems. Just you watch. I'll fix all of this. I won't leave you out in the cold. Time to start getting your hopes up again. Once this is all behind us, I'll be rewarding all of you guys with a champagne tower. I promise you that. So shut up and follow me. Got it? Bold. The airplane suddenly shook, probably due to turbulence. Rudolph was jostled awake. He'd woken early that morning and ended up drifting off to sleep while resting in a seat. You okay? Are you sure you aren't still pretty sleepy? After all, it seems you've been really busy with work lately. Being busy with work is nothing to complain about, right? Once I've got nothing left to do, it won't be long before we're out in the cold. Good point. Now that even Battler-kun's back, we'd be looking at worse than just the two of us going around begging. Yeah. Our family's all together again for the first time in 6 years. So, the leader of our family's got to give it his best if we want to spend some time. The leader of our family's got to give it his best if we want to spend some time alone together. When he looked out the window, he saw that the airplane had already started to drop in altitude considerably. The fishing boats, which had once looked like black grains a short while ago, were starting to become clearly recognizable. If I could prostrate myself before father and get 10 million yen every time he slugged me, I'd do it a dozen times. Or maybe he could just go and die already. I've always depended heavily on his financial support, and now I'm after his inheritance. I'm headed straight to hell. I can hardly complain if father doesn't want to meet the man I've become. We're transitioning scenes again. Alright. Let's go ahead and call it a night there. I can't be up too late. It's a weeknight. We do the short streams here. But as I've said in the past, I think we're going to continue Umineko Saturday night. Kind of do along the same lines what I did the last couple weeks. Bigger chunk stream of Umineko Saturday nights after I've done other things on Saturday. No streams tomorrow. Back Friday night. I'm gonna check out a couple little demo-y type things. I won't explain too much of that right now, but that, and then also probably finale stream to Naruto Friday night. So that's that. Sunday probably looking like we'll do Disco Elysium. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. As always, enjoy the rest of your day, night, or whenever you happen to be watching this. I will see you around as well, hopefully, another stream. And until Friday night. So long.